So there I was, thinking we split this specific topic into its gameplay and lore components, only to realize while filming one of those things that it didn't really make sense without the other. So, say hello to a half guide, half lore ramble, all about Don't Starve Together's freshest faces, the Heralds of Tenebrau. Spawning only during cave rifts, and no, the size of said rift doesn't matter. These quote-unquote void masks are actually replacement for Ichor spawns, as they're kinda just new thralls. But it means 20% of the time, where we typically look to the ceiling before getting gooed, we could very well end up getting a boo instead. As things stand now, there seems to be an initial generation of 3 to 4 of the following: bunnymen, spiders, and rock lobsters. That said, I have absolutely noticed that during every single one of these generations, a number of other masked mobs spawn in the surrounding area as well, so they actually aren't all concentrated in one place as originally thought. Regardless, these guys will roam the areas they generate in for seemingly forever, as I have seen them persist past their initial rifts. I've also seen them aggro onto everything, and apparently leave bodies around of the mobs that cannot be possessed, at least for now, so that's the thing. But what happens when they do actually kill something that can be masked? Well, exactly what you would expect. But this only occurs when masked mobs murder, and not us, which is kind of odd. But whatever the case, there is seemingly no limit to the horde size either, so be aware of that, while also paying mind to the very obvious hive mind activity within these things, as it's like they willingly take turns in an attack order of sorts, all while syncing up their abnormal speech. And speaking of abnormal, none of the masked mobs we know act like their known unmasked counterparts. For example, rock lobsters don't shield, and bunnymen don't flee when low on HP. But you know what's the strangest of all? Doppelgangers, aka the possessed corpses of us. Yes indeed, when we die, these masks take control of our husks as well, and we too will become one with the hive mind. But at the end of the day, we can still kill us and all of them all the same, leaving behind skeletons, pure horrors, and of course a few faces. 3 masks are possible, and here's hoping you do get all 3, as I believe only one group of possessed mobs spawn per rift, which is kind of ridiculous. But with any of these in hand, we can return to Charlie's stage to summon the Pall, a whole new stage play written in ancient tongue. Well, kind of, but give it a listen, and then we'll talk. But holy moly, what the heck does any of that even mean, Beard? Well, to those who do lore craft and theorize and do indeed go step by step, quite a bit. They're probably scrambling all over the world as we speak, trying to rewrite some stuff. But for us laymen, those who kind of get the lore but are not super duper ingrained into it, this is just kind of confirming some suspicions we already had, and we can build off of them, and that's exactly what I'm doing at the end here. Especially, and I don't know how I did this, by the way, so I can't recreate it. One of the, non-plays had one of my Sage Masques literally say out loud, "You have no idea what's coming." But let's stick to my notes as I don't want to be here very long. And we'll start with this. Masques, spelled very specifically as M-A-S-Q-U-E-S, because masques are actually plays featuring gods. You might be wondering how the heck I got the game to show Heralds of Tenebrau, probably Tenebrau. It's because I had a shadow affinity on Wilson that allowed a thrall to be named. But heralds, meaning they are harking the return or the message of something. Not them, something. And that leads to a very interesting next bit, the perspective of that play. It is 100% the perspective of these masques. But then again, are these masques all these thralls that we're seeing, or are they three unknown entities still? Regardless, they are not actually Tenebrau. So are they the ancients, or at least the spirits of the ancients? And I'll explain why. They go in to this whole thing of having their own worlds, their own gods, and how the Pall, also very specific wording, came along and saved them. You know what Pall means, everybody? Veil, or masks, or shadow. We all know what happened to the ancients. They turned to the fuel, aka nightmare fuel, aka shadows, and thus their civilization crumbled. They were together after worshiping the moon, then they found the fuel. There was strife, there was harmony, and then there was crumble and decay. Because the ancients became shadows. And here's where it all starts coming together, everybody. At least I'm going to try to do so. In the most recent animation that you can watch here, Matthias is confirmed. She is either in cahoots with Charlie or straight up possessing her. My guess, it's the former with a little bit of that, right? But that still leaves the question of who is Tenebrau. And I'm going to say it's the alternative to Alter. We already know Alter's active. Alter is that side of the equation. And I'm believing that after she has found the blueprints and she has the torch, because there's a torchbearer and a cane bearer, that Tenebrau is this eye that she saw at the end of the repaired ancient gateway with terrors below. So yes, indeed, even though the last story arc was the return of them, we only got half of them. Now, we have both. But just like with everything related to Clay lore, there's something else happening here, everybody. Because in this Hallowed Knights update, they also gave us a sneaky poem. And within that poem, we not only see Charlie with her own mere mask, we see Wagstaff build in a mask that we have never once seen before. But folks, that's honestly all I got. I could be way off base, and I can't wait to see some other actual lore aficionados down in the comment sections telling me what is and isn't right, or maybe we're on the right track, maybe we're veering off like crazy or going the opposite way. Whatever the case, that is what I'm sitting on, and it's kind of what makes sense to me, honestly. I think we finally have all the pieces needed to start bringing things to a head where Clay said they were going to do so 2 years ago. That's what I'm excited about. But I'll see you in the next one. Please share all of your thoughts down below. Bye-bye.